when we talked about what is the vision and national service, I think it does not begin or should not begin at the high school level. I think it needs to go to the primary school level.
Leveraging and launching our creative industries in the country.
That's gotten mixed reviews.
Well, I think what got mixed reviews is not the concept, but the labeling.
What we do today will affect those coming after us.
Two prominent attorneys charged by police.
At the end of the day, I fear nothing.
I regard myself as having been the victim.
NB12 will tell you what that's all about. The Speaker of the House says the opposition leader will be thrown out if he's not prepared to comply with an order. Landowners of the recently scorched shantytown speak out through their attorney. Plus, dozens of straw vendors awarded today. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12. Joining us here at Cable 12 Studios, a former politician and attorney appeared in a magistrate's court this morning, but this time he's the one being represented. His lawyer says he was expected to be charged with assault, threats of harm, and criminal damage. But the arraignment of former Progressive Liberal Party MP Code Smith has been put off for later this week because prosecutors were not ready to proceed this morning. Our Jasmine Bonamy was at court and filed this report.
Smith and his lawyer appeared before court this morning, expecting an arraignment. However, that didn't happen after it was revealed that the file was still under review. Smith and his lawyer, Derek Ryan, appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. In court, the prosecution revealed they were not prepared to go ahead with the arraignment, as the file was still under review by investigators at the Cable Beach Police Station. The acting magistrate set the matter down until Friday, when it is expected Smith will be arraigned on charges that stem from an argument he reportedly had with lawyer Fred Smith at Jaws Beach in April. In court, Ryan raised concerns over the delay in the arraignment, saying his client was slated to leave for a month-long vacation at the end of the week. With a new date set, the prosecution did not object to Smith remaining on police bail. Once proceedings wrapped up, Smith emerged from the courthouse with his immediate family and briefly spoke to our news team about how he plans to feverishly fight the charges. The former member of parliament for Mount Moriah was surrounded by more than a dozen of his supporters who showed up outside court.
One thing I am told a long time ago by family members is that when it all comes down to it, you have to do what is righteous and what is right. God will always be on your side. And so at the end of the day, I fear nothing. As long as God gives me life, strength, and as long as my wife is with me, and these people and numerous others are with me, we're going all the way, all the way, all the way.
Smith will be back in court on Friday morning. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Well, Queen's Counsel and Grand Bahama attorney Fred Smith says police charged him today with causing harm, something he indicated has baffled him. NB12 caught up with Smith outside the Cable Beach Police Station. Christina McNeil has more in this report.
Smith appeared lighthearted as he prepared to enter the station, seemingly oblivious to what was about to transpire.
Last meal. Morning. I don't think so. I don't know why I'm going in yet. I've just been asked to come by to talk to the police, so I'll let you know how.
Smith's demeanor changed drastically by the time he walked out of the station, explaining he was shocked to learn he wasn't called into the police station to provide information, but to have charges read to him. He says the charge stems from an incident at Jaws Beach in April. His alleged victim claimed in a sworn affidavit that Smith knocked him down on April 25th. Smith spoke to NB12 at the station shortly after he was charged.
I'm recovering from what I regard as a little bit of a shock in being charged. So Mr. Bostwick and I are going to have to discuss what's going to happen. Obviously on Friday, I will be pleading not guilty to the charge.
Smith described the charges as a grave injustice as he considered himself a victim in the situation. He was referring to an incident where his rear windshield was shattered by what appears to be a crowbar while at Jaws Beach earlier this year.
I thought it had something to do with continuing to provide information about what had happened to me. I regard myself as having been the victim of an attack at Jaws Beach. And it certainly seems very odd that I should be the subject of an arrest, a charge, and a prosecution in the courts.
Smith is the director of Save the Bays, a coalition formed to preserve and protect Clifton Bay and other marine environments around New Providence. He is represented by attorney J. Henry Bostwick, who accompanied him to the police station. He is scheduled to be arraigned on the charge of causing harm in a magistrate's court on Friday. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
In other news, 2 days after an outburst led to the early suspension of Parliament, House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major says he hopes opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis will return next month, prepared to do the right thing. Failing that, Major warned the rules of the House would play out. Vonig Toot has the story.
When the stem cell debate continues here in the House of Assembly on August 7th, House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major says he is fully prepared to accommodate opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis if he gets up and withdraws comments he made in Parliament last week. However, he says what he will not tolerate is an uproar similar to what happened here on Monday. In that case, he says the rules will be enforced and the Killarney MP will be asked to vacate the premises.
The rules will have to play out. The member still has an opportunity to, 1, withdraw the remarks, 2, provide proof, lay the proof on the table. That has always been an option for the member. If the member doesn't do so, then obviously the next level of I guess you would say, punitive behavior will then have to be enforced. And according to the rules, that would mean the member to eventually be named and asked to vacate the premises of the precincts.
However, he says it would be unfortunate if it plays out that way. Major said he was not surprised but disappointed by what he believes were orchestrated actions taken by Minnis. It eventually led to the early suspension of the lower chamber on Monday. As Golden Gates MP Shane Gibson was preparing to make his contribution to the debate, Minnis stood up and refused to take his seat in defiance of the Speaker's orders.
The rules are clear. The member made an infraction. It's a scurrilous, very serious infraction. It has never happened since I have been the Speaker of this House. There are members on both sides who have grumbled because the chair has asked them to withdraw comments. At all times, members eventually withdrew the comments because it is the right thing to do.
The whole thing started last week when Minnis made certain comments about Prime Minister Perry Christie's relationship with Canadian fashion designer Peter Nygard. Major says he asked the Killarney MP 14 times to substantiate those claims or withdraw them. Minnis has argued there is nothing to withdraw because those comments were expunged from the record. Major disagrees.
Withdrawal is a totally different matter. Withdrawal is personal responsibility. So if you say something or do something and you are asked to withdraw it, that brings and shows respect to the chair and to the House members. Imagine this. If anything is allowed to be said without a member taking personal responsibilities, how can I now protect that same member when it's in reverse?
He insisted that he did not muzzle Minnis, adding that was something the opposition leader did to himself because of his determination to blatantly violate the rules. Despite Dr. Bernard Nottage's call for the opposition leader to apologize to the House Speaker, Major made it clear he doesn't want or need an apology. Asked what he expects to happen next month, Major said he's not sure, but he hopes Minnis will have a change of heart.
I know the member, and I consider the member to be an honorable gentleman, as I as I do. I respect all the members of the House of Assembly. And so I was a little bit surprised at the turn of events with respect to that. But I would expect him to do the honorable thing, and I still do. I have hopes that he will make the right decision at the right time so that we can move on.
Major says if Minnis were to do what he feels is the right thing, that would be given priority on the House agenda. The Speaker says he plans to reach out to Dr. Minnis and arrange a meeting well before parliamentarians return to the lower chamber next month. Reporting for NV12, I'm Vonique Toot.